Well, I guess we're criminals. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play 1001 Games. I'm your host, Gaming Jay, and today we are playing Commando, Destroy, the enemy, army. Jeez, what a tagline, eh? This is an old school Capcom arcade game, originally known as Wolf of the Battlefield in Japan, and as you saw by that little opening we had there, technically we are now international outlaws by playing it not in Japan, but hey, whatever. This is the price we pay for being on our gaming journey, guys. Wolf of the Battlefield, what an awesome name, by the way. This is a run-and-gun shooter from 1985. Funnily enough, there was a movie called Commando that came out in 1985 starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, which, coincidence or not? I don't quite understand. Did this movie have a tie, or did this have a tie-in with the movie? I don't think it did, but man, what a weird coincidence. So without further ado, let's insert a few quarters here and go ahead and slam our way into the jungles of Nicaragua or Guatemala, wherever the hell we are. We're waving our helicopter away, and off to the races we go. So we get to, oh, we have like a, dead already. Okay, we have a machine gun, but it fires in bursts, so it's like a battle rifle from Halo. I saw it firing like this. I thought I could just hold the button, but no, you can't. So, okay, I figured it out. Let's go ahead and kill all these guys and get our commandoing on. Let's get off to the races. These guys, oh, these foolish enemy soldiers, man, it's actually hard to aim at them, and they're kind of like running all over the screen. I thought the enemies would just be near the top of the screen, and they wouldn't, like, but guys are like running all the way down here. It's actually kind of distracting. It's like hard to like line up our shots to hit them. Doing okay, but just gonna take a little while to get used to. By the way, though, so this game was rated as one of basically the best shooter games in 1985 when it came out. It won all sorts of awards and stuff, and instantly, actually, I understand that. Oh, we have grenades too. Oh, and I got killed by an enemy grenade. He was on a motorcycle just lobbing grenades for fun. What a dick. So we can actually, here, let's try and throw a grenade at this mortar guy. Boom, we got him with the grenade. Oh, yeah. Oh, I got shot. Oh, that's just how easy it is to die. Just how easy it is to die. Yes, it's going to be a hard game on the arcade here. But, oh, this is a cool, what a cool little name entry screen. Love it. I can already see why this game was rated so highly. Yes, it does look kind of old these days, but, like, honestly, in like the 10 seconds that I've played it so far, it really does actually feel like it's held up fairly well. And like, yeah, it's going to be simple, but the graphics look terrific, and the control feels remarkably spot on despite all these years. So yeah, this is a game, this is a classic, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Now, we're going to go on a bit of a gaming journey with this game, because every time I play these like really simple games, oh, there was a bullet that just came out of the woods there. Oh, they're like jumping off cliffs and stuff to get at me. Oh, these guys are playing for keeps. But every time I play one of these really old games, I sometimes kind of run out of stuff to say after like 15 minutes or so, because like the levels aren't changing up that much. There's no point in continuing to play for too long. And I kind of worried that Commando would be like this too, and I figured what would be kind of cool is if we first checked out the arcade version, and then we went and checked out some of the home console versions. So this game was released on the NES, and it was a wildly successful NES title, again considered one of the best NES games in '85. Like, it was up there for the action games. Like, that's a POW. See, he was being led away by two soldiers. If I could have shot both soldiers, I'm pretty sure I could have saved him. We're just gonna run by the motorcycle guy there, avoiding grenades. You can just kind of like run through the levels and like not worry too much about, oh, until you get gunned down from a guy behind a rock. I don't even know how I'm earning grenades. I have 11 grenades. I don't know where they came from. I guess I should be using more grenades or something like that, but I really don't feel a need to. Here, let's lob a grenade. Oh, what the hell? A grenade blew up right beside that guy. It didn't hurt him. It's also interesting that like enemies can like, oh, damn it. I was gonna say enemies can like run into you and they don't really hurt you, although I tried it and that one guy totally did kill me. Like, the enemies get shockingly close. In any other arcade game, they would definitely kill me, but I don't know. I guess, oh, damn. Look, I had 16 grenades. I need to start using more grenades. Okay, we're gonna hop into this a few more times here. Forget about putting it. I wonder what name it gives you if you don't put in a high score. They just call you Command. Oh no, wait, it's just blank. I thought they gave you the name Commando. Vulgus. What were the other high scores there? Son of something. I don't know. We got a few more quarters in this one, so let's give it a shot here. But yeah, at the time that this game came out, nothing could match its action. And you know what, whether or not this has an official tie-in with the Schwarzenegger Commando movie, I mean, like, this is basically the final act of the Schwarzenegger movie. For anyone who hasn't seen it, actually, you should definitely check it out. It is a hilariously, like, it's almost, it was supposed to be serious at the time, but, like, kind of, like, comedic at points, as all kind of Arnold action movies are. Arnold's movies usually have, like, a bit of humor, a bit of dark humor in them. But, like, honestly, it's so cheesy now that it's hilarious. And yeah, one of the things that I've always thought was so bizarre about the Commando movie, if you go back and watch it, is it's a movie where Arnold is like on a mission to stop terrorists, and he has to kill like a whole island country full of terrorists to save his like kidnapped daughter. But the movie starts off with like literally the theme song to like Family Matters. Like it could have been, you know, Full House or something. It's really weird. Like him and his daughter are having ice cream. They're like feeding a deer in the woods. Like it is so bizarre. And it has this like weird like upbeat music. And then it goes into like commando death music. And like Arnold starts going on his mission to kill everyone. He like, I think he like suffocates a guy on a plane or something. He's like jumping out of planes and like just gunning people down without remorse. It's pretty hilarious. But yeah, Commando. So this game obviously... Oh, we saved a POW! Yeah! He was throwing his hands up in glee. Yes. Yeah, we're getting better at this game. Commando, the Arnold movie, is like the last sort of sequence, the last big action sequence where he's on the island literally killing everyone. It's pretty much like this. I'm doing far worse than Arnold. But another similarity between this and the Arnold movie, by the way, is that my gun has unlimited ammo. If you go back and watch Arnold's Commando movie, one of the things people always make fun of it for is that Arnold has like an AK-47 and he's like killing soldier after soldier after soldier, and like literally he never reloads once. You never see him reload once. What is happening, by the way? Look at all these dudes. They're going crazy trying to kill me. Oh god, there's so many bullets on the screen. Luckily in this game, oh god, I can't believe I survived that. Oh, we passed the level. Oh look, and he's having a smoke. Broke the first area, now rush to the second. Wow, I actually passed the level. I'm impressed. These old school, damn it, arcade games are usually pretty damn challenging. As you can see there, I died within 2 seconds on the next level. Oh god, now we have people on jeeps and motorcycles to contend with. Oh, I got run over by a jeep. Okay, stay away from the edge of the screen, I guess. Okay, this is going to be quite tough. We're just in a giant open battlefield where everyone's trying to run us over and shoot us. Oh my god, there's like trench warfare going on. Oh, and we got a bullet caught us. Alright guys, oh look, we got a little medal in the bottom right corner. We got like the silver star, the gold star, or whatever. Okay, we've tried this game in the arcades. We've seen the like upgraded and enhanced version here. I'm just going to add my name for posterity, for history, so people know who got to level 2. I'm going to add a little heart so people know it's me. That's how you know it's me. Oh look, and the heart comes up yellow. So you know it's me. I signed my name with little hearts at the end. We're 3rd place. It's pretty good, I think. Okay, so we've seen what Commando looks like in the arcade. Now, back in the day, if you found this in an arcade and you played it and you thought it was cool, you might be enticed to try it on a home console like the NES or the Atari. So what would that look like? Let's hop over to see what it would look like on the NES, and then later we'll see the Atari 2600. So, if you were playing this game on the NES, this is what you would see. And without further ado, let's go ahead and give her a shot here. Alright, so we are being dropped into the jungle. Looks very similar to what we saw in the arcade. Obviously, the sort of perspective is warped a little because we don't have as much vertical space to work with. But the game, oh god. The game pretty much functions the exact same as we saw in the arcade here. I don't have a machine gun anymore, so I'm not shooting nearly as many bullets, but that's, you know, a limitation of the NES. It just simply could not handle as many sprites as the arcade. Like the arcade, though, it's just as easy to die. I know that a lot of times for these home console ports, they would actually tone the difficulty down a fair amount, but like I feel like this is actually like just as difficult. Oh my god, look how many people are on the screen. This is actually a lot for the NES. Oh god, there's people everywhere. Oh, I got walked into. What kind of commando dies when he gets walked into? My character name, by the way, is Super Joe. That's the name my mother gave me, I guess, in the context of this world. I mean, with a name like Super Joe, you really could only be a commando. Like, you couldn't be Super Joe the accountant. In the Arnold movie, the character's name was John Matrix. So I guess that means that this isn't a tie-in with the movie. But oh god, what's going on? Oh, it's the guy in the... It's got all the same, like, the same points in the level. The tiles keep swapping in a weird way, though, which is kind of confusing me. Like, the water and stuff keeps changing. I guess it's probably due to the... Oh god, I thought I could walk through that. The NES's limited memory capacity. I wonder if Super Joe, by the way, is a reference to G.I. Joe. You know, we should be throwing grenades. Oh yeah, we got 2 people with a grenade, alright. It's nice to have a game that has a dedicated grenade button. See, look, the palettes just swapped. All the colors just changed. I'm pretty sure that's because the NES can only show so many colors at a time. And they just swapped again. See, like, I don't know what's up with that. It's probably, again, just a limitation of early NES games. Oh, walk past the bullet! I feel like there were more bullets in the arcade version, but it was easier to walk around bullets in the arcade version, too. So it's sort of like, they've had to change some things. Oh, look, the POWs! Oh, we saved them and they run off the screen! That's so awesome! They're just tied to a tree. Cool. Yeah, I mean, like, if you did like Commando in the arcade at the time, I could totally see this being, like, a totally reasonable port. Like, you'd bring this home and you could play it 2 players with, like, your brother or your dad or whatever, and, like... Wait, there were guys that were just straight up disappearing there. Did you guys notice that? I think there's so many sprites on the screen that, like, it can't even handle all the soldiers, and some of the soldiers are, like, disappearing. Oh, God, look at them all. Let's just throw grenades at these guys. Oh, that grenade took out everyone. Yeah, that's what we like to see. Oh, he's surrendering. Oh, what the... You guys surrendered! You can't walk into me after you surrender! That is against the code of war, man! What? Maybe he was like waving that flag as a distraction. A distractionary technique. It's like if the enemy gets too close, just wave the flag and they'll think it's over. And then stab him with a fork! Maybe that's what happens when the guys walk real close to you. They stab you with a fork. So let's give this one more shot, and then we're going to pop over and see what the Atari 2600 version looks like. Is this just grass? I thought this was pits. Well, okay. Well, as long as we can walk on it. I guess there are really no pits in this game. So, it was definitely a thing, I remember, in old NES games that, like, you definitely wanted lives. There doesn't seem to be a time limit on this game. I'm kind of... Okay, we found a spot where I can rack up endless points. I think every 10,000 points, or when you get 10,000 you get an extra life, and then from there it's every 50,000 you get an extra life. I'm kind of tempted just to see what happens if we sit here for a second. While we do, I will tell you about the fact that this game had a fake sequel. So this was a Capcom game, Commando. Later on, Capcom put out a game called Bionic Commando, and they actually pretended like Bionic Commando was a sequel to Commando here. It actually had pretty much no connection at all, but it was marketed as a sequel. Did we just get an extra life? Crap, I wasn't paying attention. Did I have 3 lives to begin with? Okay, let's just assume we did. Oh, the palace just swapped. There you go. So yes, Bionic Commando had nothing to do with this game, and if you've played Bionic Commando, like, this game is kind of like a... Oh god, there was too many guys there. This game is kind of like a top-down Contra, but Bionic Commando is more like... You're kind of like swinging around on like a whip or something. Although, of course, it's like a bionic arm in Bionic Commando. It's not a real whip. But you guys know, it's a lot of sort of swinging and dangling and climbing. So it's not super related to this. Oh god, there's a guy right behind me. Oh look, and there's the POW. Oh, we can't even get to him. Oh god, this guy's right on my butt. Right on my butt. No! Bullets! Bullets on my butt too. Just run through the gate. Try and survive. Keep an eye out for disappearing soldiers, by the way, because it's totally going to happen. Like, soldiers, there's going to be too many on the screen, and some guys are just going to... Like, that guy just disappeared! Look, the guy's running away from the rocks. They're just disappearing after enough time. What is going on? Who am I fighting here? I'm fighting enemies that have learned how to phase out of our reality. Hopefully I got an extra life to help me through the troubles. I also need to get better at using the... Oh, did I just collect that soldier? I heard, like, a power-up sound, and he disappeared. Oh, god. Okay, so when you touch soldiers, they can die, and you can also pick them up as power-ups, apparently. I don't quite know what's going on with that, but yeah, I gotta get better at throwing grenades, because I feel like that's what I'm missing here. If I knew how to use my grenades better, I could clear the screens a lot faster. Oh, there's a green guy! Kill the green guy! Oh, look, there's a power-up pouch or something. Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna, like, bomb that area. That's where you throw your grenades. Oh, yeah, we passed the level again! Sweet! Cha-ching! So, in addition to the fake sequel of Bionic Commando, I like how he's, like, eating gum or, like, beans there. They definitely didn't want to have him smoking, because it was an old-school NES game. In addition to the fake follow-up of Bionic Commando, they also had a real follow-up called Mercs. Now I've only seen screenshots of, oh god, don't run me over, oh god, there's stuff everywhere. Just run for it, little Commando Man. Super Joe, G.I. Joe. I wonder if, yeah, is Super Joe related to G.I. Joe? Did I already ask that? Jeez, that's a bad sign when I'm forgetting, like, within a minute of what I've talked about. But there was a real follow-up called Mercs, which is basically like a top-down Contra, basically like this game, only it looks even more like Contra. I've only ever seen screenshots, so I don't 100% know what the gameplay is like, but it kind of looks more side view than this, but it is still more top-down than Contra, if you guys can kind of imagine that. Oh, a guy touched me. Damn it. Hey, we have 3 lives again. Did we get that from passing the level? What the heck just happened? Did I just fall into a hole? What? What? What the hell is this? Okay, you can't, those are clearly holes. It's spotting me over a hole. What kind of bullshit is this? Okay, hold on. Oh, there we go. Oh my god. Oh, and I'm dead. Okay, do we want to give this one more shot? One more shot on the NES, I think. I'm liking the NES version. It's a faithful port of the arcade, and I feel like we got the short end of a stick there. I feel like let's give this one more shot here. Now, what is kind of interesting about a game like this is, as I said, when it came out, it was considered both on the NES and in arcades to be like a really good action game, to the point where like people were like, no one can match the action of Commando. They may look at this game these days and be like, yeah, what's so special about it though? It's like a top-down shooter and whatever, and you're just running around. And it's like, remember the context of when this came out, like in the 80s and stuff, like space games were really huge and stuff, but games quite like this weren't really a thing. And so it's kind of a testament to the fact that you can't tell that this game is unique, but how influential it was. You know, because you could look at like all sorts of other like old games that like didn't really lead to very many copycats, and they still seem very unique these days. Hey, that guy, what? I freed the POW dude, but there were no soldiers with him, but he kept walking anyway. He was free. He should have ran away. I freed him. But you can look at some other old games that like nobody really copied, and they still seem unique today. But it's almost like the games that seem like they're no big deal these days are the ones that are actually more impressive, because at the time, like, no one had done anything like this. And when people saw this game and it was so popular, people were like, yo, let's copy that. So it's like the fact there are all these copycats these days, and like you look at the gameplay and you're like, yeah, it's a top-down shooter. It's like that actually means that this was really successful. So yeah, it may not seem as interesting or important these days because there's so many games that have done this kind of stuff and added more features and, you know, quote-unquote done it better and stuff. But at the same time, like, you gotta sort of realize that it's because, oh, holy crap! A guy smoking a cigarette in an NES game. Oh my god, what does the world come to? Anyway, long story short, this game was influential and important and cool, so there you go. Oh, don't run me over. Oh, the thing that's harder on the NES is, like, the cars will just appear out of nowhere because the NES can't draw that many sprites on the screen. Okay, I'm just gonna start lobbing grenades. I feel like that's a good strategy. Oh, stay away from me, buddy. The nice thing is once the soldiers get behind you, they don't often shoot at you. It's usually the guys, oh god, coming from like the side or, you know, in front of you who are doing most of the shooting. We've played the game so hard, the music didn't know what to do. It just sort of shut up there for a while. Maybe it was wowed by the progress we were making. Oh god, there's bazooka guys. Oh, this is dangerous. Kill them. Those are guys that you can't let live. I'm just gonna throw a grenade there, try and clear the way. Oh god! Wait, is those stairs? Did you guys see that? Oh crap, it was like a ladder or something. That might have been a secret area. Okay, I collected that guy. I like the idea that he's now in my pouch. Like I have a bag of holding or something like that, like RPG style. It's like, get in the bag. And he's like, I thought you were here to rescue me. I'm like, I am, get in the frickin' bag! We don't have time for this! Get in my backpack or we're both gonna die. And he did, and everything was okay. Oh, we're in another boss. Oh god, get away from me. God. Look, there's glowing beans. I want the beans. Or whatever they are. Oh my god. I can't believe I'm doing this. Yeah, we did it. Oh man, there's nothing better than feeling a satisfaction. Now he's like poking poking a snake with a stick. He's taking a little break to poke a snake, guys, between levels. But there's nothing more satisfying than the sense of satisfaction you get from beating like a level in a really hard old retro game. Because like retro games, it's all skill, man. You gotta, those guys are just getting stuck on the wall, like the worst soldiers ever. It's like, go outside this hut and kill them. And they're like, okay. And they're like, oh, there's a wall. Oh, it's hurting my face. I keep walking into it. Oh my God. Oh, my left arm's going numb. Guys, help me. I can't stop walking forward into this wall. Oh my God. Meanwhile, if they touch me, my guy's like, oh, gross, I'm dead. He touched me. Time out. I'm hurt. Too hurt to go on. I wonder what the backstory is for these guys, by the way. Like, am I like liberating some kind of like country from like some kind of like government coup or something of like terrorists, or like are these just like, they're like little dudes in gray uniforms? They're like little Nazis or something like that, like little SS dudes who happen to take over this island. Maybe they're just like people who Super Joe here has a personal disagreement with. He's like, I've never agreed with the guys who wear the gray uniforms. Their preference in baseball teams is just beyond me. Oh God, that's hard. It's tough in a game like this when they spawn enemies like right on you. I also don't have a good sense of how far back it's putting me every time I die. It's like I don't know how far I am from that spot. Well, I guess I'm really far. Oh no, did it put me even further back? No. Well, what an interesting mechanic. It puts you back a couple screens when you die, so then if you die right away, then you go back even further. That's like punishing, man. They should just pick a checkpoint and leave you at it. Because like now, this is where I died before, and I have a feeling I'm not going to make it past this. Oh God, they're all around me. Run! Just throw grenades like crazy. We have so many grenades. Damn it. That guy had a knife. You see that? He's holding a knife. Okay, fine. Maybe they don't touch me. Maybe they actually stab me in the gut. Alright, well, we have seen Commando now, translated from the arcade to the NES. There's only one more direction we can go here, guys. We can look at what happens when they took Commando and they put it on the Atari 2600. And here we are in Commando for the Atari 2600. I have to say that the graphics actually do look better than I was expecting. But without further ado, let's actually give this a shot. And here we go. So, oh God. The Atari Controller I've always found a little stiff, and it's not always the easiest to control. So especially for a game like this where you gotta be like dodging shots from enemy soldiers and stuff like that, I don't, you know, it's a little hard to figure out. But like honestly, actually, I thought it was gonna be far worse than it actually seems to turn out to be. It's certainly, oh God, I was trying to shoot there, but it didn't shoot. Again, going back to the Atari Controller, I always found a little stiff. There we go. Oh, no. Man, it's very hard compared to the NES and the arcade version. It's hard to get past like a single screen here. Am I just dead again? Okay, let's reset the game. Oh wait, there's different like game modes. Here we go. Yeah, it's very difficult compared to the NES and arcade versions, but it is, you know, and it is, oh God, far more inferior than those versions, clearly. But like compared to other Atari 2600 games, it's actually not bad, I would say. I think if I had a slightly better controller, oh, and what sucks is their bullets seem to go much farther than yours do. Let's just see if we can pass like a single level. Oh, did that bullet ricochet, or did the other guy, I think the guy at the bottom of the screen shot up at me. Damn, like I can't even, it's like, I can't kill like 3 guys without dying. It's so much harder, it's crazy. No, keep going forward, I'm just gonna run for it. That's my strategies. Oh, jeez, I thought I was dead there. I'm really having to like push on the control. Maybe this is just like a bum controller and that's like making the whole process. Oh, I was at the last, oh no, wait, that was probably the bridge where the motorcycle guy shoots at you. I'm gonna keep going with this for a little bit. So, okay, we can see now the transition from Commando from arcades all the way through the NES down to the Atari. So you can see sort of the progression from best to worst ports of it. Again, though, like, you know, if you really liked Commando and you had an Atari, I don't think this would be that bad for you to, like, take home and play. Like, honestly, again, it is definitely far simpler than the arcade version. But, like, it's not like it's that bad, like especially for the Atari 2600. Like in context, damn it, I played way worse games in the Atari 2600 than this. So like this is actually not too bad. This whole little process though of going through the different versions here of Commando, damn it, has got me thinking about what do you guys consider the definitive versions of a game? Like these days, when companies make a port of a game, like they put a game out on the Nintendo Wii U, like they put Arkham City on the Wii U, I think, years after it had come out on like the PS3 and stuff like that. But the version that came out on the Wii U was largely the same version with a few tweaks that we had before. So it's not like these days when they port games to multiple consoles, they usually aren't the hardware limits that there were back in the day of like Atari and NES. And so the games usually come out being pretty identical. But like back in the day, when a game came out in the arcade, it was very different than the home console edition. And games that came out on different home consoles, like even between NES and like Master System, there were a lot of differences. And so it kind of got me thinking, like, what do you guys, when you think of an old game that has ports on multiple systems, what do you think of as the definitive version of that game? I wonder how you use grenades, by the way. I think you just hold the button. But hell if I can do that like while I'm under fire. Oh god, dodge, dodge, dodge! Dodge! No, don't get stuck on the wall! Oh, I'm so dead here, aren't I? Oh man. It is so hard to react quickly on this controller. Okay, one more time while I'm wrapping up here. But yeah, like, what do you consider the definitive version? I think for myself, like, and I think this is more, because this is a totally subjective question, by the way, so I think this just says more about how I played games as a kid, but I always think of, like, the NES version of games as the sort of, the definitive version, I guess, in my mind when I think of a game. And then when I think of arcade versions of those same games, even if the game was originally in the arcade and it was just ported to NES, then usually the way I kind of think about it is, like, the arcade edition is, like, sometimes a harder, but usually just a more advanced version of a game. So sort of like the arcade version of a game is the enhanced edition. The NES version is like the standard. And then like games like this are like the like you play it if you have to. If you don't have an NES, this is the downgraded version you can play. But hey, that's just how I kind of grew up, like maybe you grew up in the arcades, and to you, like, the arcade version of any game that had a home console port is always the definitive version in your mind. And it doesn't matter what console you're talking about on the home console. Those are all, like, downgrades or something like that. I don't know. I think, as I say, I think it reveals more about how I grew up gaming than I think it is, like, an objective truth. Like, the definitive version of a game is usually just the first version that came out. So this game came out first in arcade, so Commando, the arcade game, is sort of the version that all others were really based on. But, yeah, I don't know. Subjectively, what do you think is your definitive version? With that in mind, we're pretty much at a point where I think it's time to start wrapping up Commando. We've seen it in its best. We've now seen it in its worst. Although I will say, like, being fair to the Atari 2600, yeah, this is much worse than the arcade edition, but it is not that bad for an Atari game. And actually, I think I would have preferred this over a number of other Atari games that I actually had. So it's hard, yes. The controls are a little imprecise, but it is actually pretty sophisticated for the console that it's on. So ultimately, at the end of the day, Commando, is it a game that you must play? Because it was in that book that we're working through, 1001 Games You Must Play Before You Die. I think that ultimately, with Commando, what it comes down to is that this is actually a pretty cool game that stands the test of time in the sense of that it's still actually fairly fun to play. But I definitely think that it's going to feel too simple for some people these days. So it definitely is like a retro game that was pretty influential. For its time, it was like an action fest that like a lot of people loved, and a lot of games ended up copying it. Oh man, am I actually going to pass this boss? This would be amazing if I did. I don't know if I can though. This is hard. Oh god. Can I just go up in here or like, no? Damn it. No, now I'm gonna die. No, I wish I hadn't gone up to the top of the screen. No, I died. Damn it. Okay, let's see if we can actually pass this level. That would be pretty impressive if we could. So yeah, I think Commando stands up as like a retro game that has very simple gameplay, but is actually still like, it's not too bad to go back and play these days. So I definitely have played worse retro games. I will say, however, though, if you've never played it before, there's plenty of games that do what Commando did, this sort of top-down combat game. And they just do it better because they've had a lot of iterations to modify and improve and add new gameplay mechanics. So I don't think you're going to find anything unique in Commando that you can't find in other games, but as sort of a classic, we did it first kind of retro game, I think Commando is pretty cool. So I wouldn't say that people have to play this one, but it's definitely one that you might want to put on your radar if you're looking for like a historically important and still, like, it is still like a kind of a fun game. It's just challenging. Go in knowing that it's going to be challenging. But anyway, those are my thoughts. What do you guys think of Commando here, and the fact that I couldn't beat level 1 on the Atari? Do you think that is normal, by the way? Anyway, I'm so curious. Did anyone have this on Atari growing up? And if so, like, man, like, how the hell did you play this game? It seems so hard. So hard. I just died right there again. As always, whether you agree with my assessment of this game or not, hopefully you've enjoyed checking it out. If you have, go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I will be back soon with another video, a new game, and you don't want to miss out on that. So until next time, my friends, I'm just gonna be commandoing it up in the sub-Saharan desert here. It's almost like we've changed locales. Like in the arcade version, we were in a jungle, and now we're like straight up in a desert almost. But I'm just going to be doing what I'm doing. I'm just going to be commandoing it up, and you guys take care of yourselves. Until next time, my friends, don't play any games that are illegal internationally like I just did. And peace. Ah, I got shot in the butt. Ah, he shot me in the butt. What a dick.